I have to cough. Is that too far? Like these? Oh my god. My hair's falling out. What do I do? What do I do with my hair? Does that look okay? My tripod is like falling apart. Oh. Sorry. Anyways. My tripod is like giving up, I think. But do I blame the tripod? No, because I understand. I get it. So, hold on. I haven't streamed in so long. I like forgot how. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Is it still? Yeah. Or be honest. Is it like? I think the angle is weird. Hold on. Pause. 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 I used to have this all down, and now look at me, struggling. I can't even see myself anymore. There we go. There we go. There we go. This should go right there. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, hi. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. It's been a while since I've been here. I know. To be fair, it's been a while since I've streamed. So it's not just you. It's me. It's not you, it's me. Anyways. Hold on, I'm trying to get all... Apparently I'm not situated. I thought I was. I'm not. Anyways, hi. Oh my gosh, you're early this time. You're early. What do we talk about today? To be honest, okay, so it's been a long time since I've streamed, right? Okay, so the last time I streamed I think was last week on Tuesday. Because I was doing the Get Ready With Me stream, which I don't remember. Hold on. We were in Denver. Oh no, I remember. Okay, I remember now. So we were doing the Get Ready With Me stream for the concert. And I remember saying I was not going to be able to stream until this week sometime. Hi, hello. I saw your Soho reaction. I love the song. It'd be so cute. You saw. I love the music video. I just kind of knew it was going to be like that anyways, but like I really like it. You're my favorite. Thank you. Thank you. What if you were my favorite? Anyways, I remember mentioning I wasn't going to be able to stream until like this week sometime. And I was going to stream on Tuesday, but unfortunately I was wrongly cursed with an illness. An illness got me. Okay, I don't know what illness, but some illness got me. So I've been sick all week. And anyway, I was gonna stream last night because I filmed the music video reaction last night because I finally was in the mood to be filming stuff. But then by the time I finished editing, I was like too tired. So I figured I'd just stream today. So that's why I'm here today. That's why finally, lo and behold, I am here today. I haven't heard any of their solo songs because I don't want to spoil myself, so this is all new for me. Really? Honestly, I was thinking too, like, I wonder if there are people who have kind of been just, like, staying away from the songs, which it's a little easy to, especially if you're not on Twitter, and, like, you don't go looking for them on YouTube. You can stay away from all the solo songs. And sometimes I wish I could have been in that boat. And I mean, I kind of been. I don't really watch performance, like, the videos and stuff from their concert. So, but like sometimes I go back and watch my own what's the word? Film video. Oh my god. Bro. My brain's operating at like a 12% capacity today. Sometimes I'll go back and watch my videos of the performances, but like I don't really do that much because it's just a little like difficult. But anyway, sometimes I wish I kind of had that experience of like hearing the song for the first time. But at the same time, I think I like knowing the song. I don't know. It's kind of a bit of a, just something I've been thinking about, I think. Hi, hello. Dad, I found you. Yeah. I'm back. I'm still at the store. I'll be back though. Hope you feel better. I definitely feel like as the days goes on, what? As the days go on, right? I feel better and better every single day. Um, and so technically today is the best I've felt all week. But I said that yesterday, and I'll probably say that again tomorrow, and I'll feel even better tomorrow. So, like, it's just it's an illness, a typical illness. I'm getting over it. It's fine. Happy belated Two Moon Day. Happy belated Two Moon Day. I really wish I could have did a stream that day. I thought that would have been so cute. It's just I was really busy last week. Like super, super busy. I think that's partially why I ended up getting sick, was because I was just so busy and exhausted. I wasn't resting well enough, and I ended up catching an illness and, suffering. But I wish I could have done a stream for Two Moon Day. I think that would have been cute. Hello, hi. It's also been 5 years of a song written easily too. That's crazy. Sorry. That's crazy. Hello, hi. Because, so I seen One Us in New York a year ago on Monday, so on the 24th. And I remember on that day, it was 4 years with a song written easily. And everyone was saying that at the concert. We're like, happy birthday, song written easily. Happy 4 years. And they said that too. And so now it's been 5. Like, time passes by so fast. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of strange the way time passes. But it's also a good thing. And on the 17th, it was my 5-year Two Moon anniversary. Oh, congrats! Congrats! That's so exciting. See, I'm telling you, doesn't time pass by so fast? Like, what do you mean 5 years ago, right? 5 years of being a One Us fan? That's insane. Honestly, I feel like I'm so obsessed with time passing. Well, I mean, I feel like we all are in a sense, right? Like we're just, that's just the way life goes. But I'm even more so thinking about it because my alt bias is in the military. Okay, and I'm still trying to cope with the fact that I have to live a year and a half without him. Not that I haven't done that before, but like like it even matters, okay? But like it matters to me. So I'm thinking, I'm like, that's a long time to like not get updates from Soho, right? And so I feel like I'm really just trying to like cope with the fact that like that's just a long time. That's a long time away. But I know that once all that time passes, I'm gonna be like, how did all that time fly by? Like, do you know how much can happen in a year and a half? That's insane. Thank you. And we're like, how? I'm saying. My brother said he would give me $100 if I get someone to say, oh. Not me, though. You like Stray Kids? I'm a casual fan. That's all. I know I've been thinking about it too. Like, I'm scared to know that we won't have OT5 One Us for a while. I know. And it's even worse because I'm still coping with the fact that One Us, Soho is going to be, like, inactive for a year and a half. But then, like, Lido has to go soon, too. And so then I have to get used to another year and a half. Right? And so, like, even though Soho will be back in a year and a half, it's like Lido will then be gone. And so it's like, okay, but it still doesn't feel complete. And then at some point in that time, right, in that time period, Hwanwoong will have to go. Like, we have to deal with this for the next, like, 4 to 5 years. That's why I was really, really hoping that they would all just go together. Like, I was hoping that Lido would enlist really close to when Soho enlists. Like, I still kind of do. It's only March. Lido could enlist in, like, well, he can't. He has to enlist after May if he's going to enlist this year. But he can still enlist this year, right? And then they'll be kind of close. They'll only be a couple of months apart in terms of discharge date. And then when they come back, then Hwanwoong and Xion can go. Together. at the same time. And then they can come back at the same time. And then we have OT5 ONEUS for the rest of our lives, right? I thought that sounded like a perfect plan. I don't know what the heck was happening. I almost forgot. GC Raven's officially making his re-debut. Do we want to discuss? I have a lot of things to say. Do you think ONEUS would do FanCon in the US? Okay. But, okay, before we get to the Raven, okay, Raven re-debut news, okay, let me talk about ONEUS's FanCon. Now, this is also because I think I was so set on the fact that they were gonna go in pairs to enlist. And so, and then also too, I think I thought that they wouldn't do group activities without Soho. Because they, like, Soho, I mean, they're all very important to the team, but Soho's their main vocalist. It's like, how do you do choreography in songs without the one person who, like, leads all of the songs, you know? And so I thought for sure they wouldn't do group activities, so the FanCon surprised me. I was like, I can't believe they're doing a FanCon. And then at that, I don't know why in my brain I thought that they would do a FanCon in the US. Like, that makes no sense to me now that I think about it, but, like, they do crazy things all the time. So, I honestly think, if they do a FanCon in the US, it might only be, like, 2 or 3 stops. But, like, why would they go through all that trouble just to have 2 to 3 stops in the US? You know? But, like, if they do, I think I have to go. I think I gotta be there. So, I low-key hope they don't. Because, like, I didn't plan for them to be doing any, like, US activities this year. And so, like, I've kind of been planning out my year to do, like, other things. And so, I, like, kind of hope they don't do one in the US so that, like, I don't have to go. Like, that's kind of just it. Okay, it's a selfish reason. I'll be honest. It's really selfish, but I feel it my plans. Because, like, if they do go to the US, I have to go. And then now I have to rework all of my plans, like, you know. What K-pop group do you like? I'm a ONEUS fan. That's who we're talking about, actually. Hi, hello. They're doing a FanCon. Where and when? They're starting the FanCon in Japan in May, in Tokyo and Osaka. It sounds like they might do one in Seoul, probably in the summer sometime. But, like, when is Lito supposed to enlist? Definitely next year sometime, but he's not gonna wait till Soho comes back, is he? Because that's crazy. That's insane. I legit thought RBW would do with ONEUS like they did when I thought that would have made more sense. You know, because then you'd have them back faster at the same time. Well, to be fair, it's not RBW's decision on when they enlist, but I know they can start their enlistment process, so, like, I thought maybe they would all do it together. Slay, thank you. I feel like instead of the US, they'll do Taipei again. Yeah, honestly, all I'm saying is they can go do it overseas as much as they want. It's just, I kind of hope they don't do it in the US. Because I low-key, like, I have to go if they do one in the US. And I kind of feel like I don't want to go. Do you like Sleep Token? No. I don't really know them like that, okay? However, I did hear they're going on tour, and I did hear all of their stops sold out. So, but I've never tried to listen to Sleep Token, so I'm not sure if I would or not. No, ONEUS stuff in the US, I can't afford it. That's what I'm saying. I, like, have everything mapped out. Everything mapped out for this year that doesn't involve ONEUS. Like, I don't really plan on seeing ONEUS this year. Because I already did, you know? And so, I mean, it really depends. It really depends, because I really would love to go back to Seoul. And I really want to go back to Seoul in June. Like, really badly. And I hate to say, I'm almost, like, I will go by myself if I really, really have to. Do I want to? No. Will I, though, if I have to? Yeah. Matter of fact. So, like, if they happen to be doing stuff that same week I'm gonna go, well, trying to go. I'll go see them. That's fine. I already missed literally everyone I love, so not wanting one else here yet. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Okay. Let me begin discussing Raven's re-debut, okay? Because I feel like you guys here will get me the most because we've discussed Raven in the past, right? So I feel like I've been having like this dilemma and how I feel about Raven. Because initially, and I still feel like the core of like how I feel about him is probably still this, but it's like as time goes on and as more things happen, I think I'm just kind of like I'm getting confused on how exactly I feel about everything, right? And oh, manifested. Okay, so I think at the core of the situation, I think the way that I feel about Raven is that and I've mentioned this a lot of times, okay, but like I said, you guys will get me. I don't think he's entirely guilty in his situation, right? I think there are a lot of things in his story, or like in, the whole story that were exaggerated, okay? Exaggerated, some of it was made up, right? And that's all just based on fact. Like, those are the things that we know. And so we can't even think about the things that we, or like allegations. It's like we don't know if those are real, if those are fake, or if they're exaggerated. But I feel like because we already know some of it was fake and exaggerated, like it kind of like affects the credibility of the rest of the story. Um, and so for that reason, right, I kind of don't believe that he's entirely guilty in the situation. But at the same time, I don't think he's entirely innocent either. All right. Because nobody makes a story that extreme and extravagant based entirely on lies. That's all I'm saying. So I think there is some truth to the story, but I also think there's some exaggerations to the story. But like we don't know how much of it is truth and how much of it isn't. So I think that, right, my belief about that story, or about, the situation, is why I've remained sort of like a casual fan of Raven. Because like I said, I do believe that some of that story was to just slander him entirely. And I don't think that's fair on anyone, like anybody at all, to be going through something like that and have somebody make things up about you just to slander your name. Like, that's messed up. I made a K-pop wish list, and one thing was to have Raven debut as a soloist, and it happened. Manifested. Actually, people could have some crazy minds, especially haters. That's true. And at the same time, this is also something, like, I wish I could say this on Twitter, but, like, people are so stubborn on Twitter, it's insane. There are a lot of OT5 fans who, like, hate Raven with their entire life because they wholeheartedly believe that he is guilty of everything he's accused of. Like, they won't even listen to the fact that some of that stuff was genuinely debunked. Like, and at the same time, I think a lot of people run with the idea that, like, I mean, which is true, statistically is true, men tend to put women through a lot of crazy situations, right? Like, they're abusive and mean and all this stuff. Like, that's just statistically true, right? But what we have to remember is that women can also be evil and mean. And there are a lot of women out there who, like, know that they can act like that and get away with it by blaming the man. Because we all believe women first, which we should, right? But, like, the flaw to that is that some women know that they can say things, accuse a man of things, and, like, just make up things about what a guy has done to her, and everyone will believe her, no one will believe him, even if her entire story was fake. Like, some women are like that. And knowing that some of her story was like made up, exaggerated slash made up, it's like you can't really tell how much of her story is now true. Like, you know, it just affects the credibility. Pretty, where are you from? I'm from the US. Hi, hello. I love your hair. You're so pretty. Thanks. Sorry, I'm going into like a whole rant about an artist that I like. RBW literally debunked. Like, are you for real? Well, see, too, the thing with RBW is like they didn't say anything. Now, I think what they didn't really like. I don't blame them for not like confirming or denying the story. Um, but at the same time, I think that's also why a lot of people like kind of run with the fact that he might be guilty is because RBW didn't say anything. It's like, I don't know why you need that to like prove that this story is fake or like exaggerated when it's all right in front of you, but whatever. I know a story from a friend that someone they know literally got in trouble because a woman lied about him. So yeah, it does happen. It does. And I hate to say I have personal experience with it, okay? I'm a little bit of a TMI. Um, do I want to, am I going to expose myself like that on the internet? So basically, I watched my parents go through that, okay? My mom did that to my dad way back in the day. And she even included like me and my siblings in on it. She told us to write things down. She told us exactly what to write on a piece of paper and was like, write down that, but she wasn't saying it like you need to write this and like, you know, it was kind of like she was feeding it into our brains of like, she would word the question in a way that like you could only produce one answer from. And it was all questions that like slandered my dad, you know? And she had us all write it down on a piece of paper and then turn it into like the judge for like, you know, because they were going through a custody battle. And it was basically her way of trying to get custody of her kids. And she thought that like, well, if it comes from the kids, it must be true, right? And so then she had us all write down basically what she wanted us to say, and or what she, you know, wanted the judge to believe, um, so that she could get custody of us and not my dad. But my dad's smart, okay? He's a smart guy. So he quickly figured out that we were being coached into writing these things down, so she could get her way. And so that's kind of what I mean. It's like I have that experience of like seeing. My volume's low, I can't hear you. I'm sorry. I'm talking really quiet too, though. My parents are sleeping. Oh, I'm so sorry. No, it's been forever. I know. You're so pretty. Thanks. Sorry, I'm going into. I'm trying to do a rant about Raven. I'm gonna read your lips. Okay. Okay. Anyways, long story short, my mom did that to my dad. So like personal experience, I've watched a woman create a story to slander a man that didn't do anything. And so I think because I have that personal experience, it's like I kind of I don't necessarily like I do always side with a woman first, right? Because it's like we should women power. But once she has a story that starts like falling apart, immediately I'm like, well, okay, maybe like, you know, then I think I kind of sort of step away from her side of the story and I start kind of like looking at like, well, maybe it's an exaggeration. I don't know. So that's sort of my stance on the whole Raven situation is like I don't hate him. Now, I don't think he's I don't think he's guilty, but I don't think he's innocent either. And that's sort of why I say I'm neutral. Anyways, moving, that's the core belief I have about this whole situation. Now, I think when he first left, I was so distraught. Did I read that already? I love your hair, by the way. Thanks. I was so distraught because like he was in One Us. One Us is my favorite group in the entire world. I was so distraught when he left. I think I was like definitely like a bigger fan of his at that time than I think I am right now. And I still had that belief, I think, but I think it was because like it was me trying to like process the entire situation. Like not only did he just leave all of a sudden, right? There's all of this just came out of nowhere all of a sudden. And then he just left within 2 weeks. And like, you know, my entire world has just flipped upside down. I'm like, what do I do? Like I'm freaking out, I don't know what to do. And so, but also I was watching everybody that I knew that once was a fan of him just turn on him entirely, you know? Like they are like these people who once were like, I love you, Raven, are now throwing tomatoes at his face. I'm like, and I think that made me really sad because I was like, I feel like if we really do like somebody and like admire somebody like that and they make a mistake, I feel like the first thing shouldn't be to just turn on them immediately, you know? Um so in the first couple of months, I think I was trying to be more on his side because I saw everyone not on his side. Even though I kind of knew that part of him in that situation like was part of the problem. I was like I just felt bad at the time. I was like, man, like, well, at least you'll have a few people on your side, you know? And so I think that's why I became such like a Raven. I wouldn't even say Raven defender. I was a Raven fan by context because like everyone, it was like you were an OT5 fan and just hated that man, right, forever. Or you were in like an OT6 stand. No, OT6. Or Raven fan. Like, you know, didn't hate him or whatever. I don't know. What's going on here? I'm ranting about the former member of One Us. um anyways, as time goes on, right? Raven disappears. He's kind of just like MIA, he's a little quiet, whatever. And I think because One Us is like, you know, doing a lot of promotions and activities, I sort of like at the end of the day, I'm a One Us fan. All right. Like I will stand One Us until the day I die, even if there's only one or two people in that group. Say the rest of them, right? God forbid. All right. Um, rest of them leave on mutual terms. Okay. Maybe they just kind of, maybe they're like 50 and they want to, you know, live their happy little lives now. But like one person's in One Us. I feel like I would be a One Us fan. I'm a One Us fan of that one member. Like, you know, I'm just a One Us fan. And so I was obviously focusing all my attention onto One Us at the time. I didn't really mind what Raven was doing. I was like, I'm sure he's just living life now. I really thought he quit idol life. Thought he was gonna just give up and just live his normal life forever, but I actually had a brain on like them, stay neutral until I got real facts. That's kind of, it's like, but even if you were like paying attention to the story at all, you would kind of know that that story, like, it was the fact that like people were proving that part of that story was not real. I feel like that's all you needed to know about that story. And I know some people, I did see some people on Twitter at the time, like they would see the part that was like made up, exaggerated, like just completely blown out of proportion. But then they would be like, okay, but then this part wasn't debunked, so this must be true. And it's like, I love how we're not thinking about the fact that like, even if a portion of her story was, you know, debunked, like imagine how much of the other parts of her story could be exaggerated or made up. Like you're not even thinking about it in that context. Like it was so crazy to watch. Where are you from? I'm from the US. I really wish I could say something else when I answer that, but I can't. Okay. My country's falling apart. Um, oh, you're so pretty. Thanks. um, anyways, like this is gonna be a long story time though, because I have a lot of things to say about Raven's re-debut. Okay. Um, anyway, time goes on. I kind of start to like not really mind. Uh, Simply put, I don't really care about Raven, okay? I'm like focused on One Us, right? They're doing all these things. I'm One Us focused, tunnel visioned, don't care about Raven. He's also not doing anything. So it's like, how, you know, what do I have to care about? Um, I don't know where exactly this honestly, I've been feeling like this recently. So, and I think it has to do with the fact that he's re-debuting, but because I have other, there are other things that I feel about that. I think it was like I thought he was just gonna be like a casual fan. Like I was just gonna kind of be like a background fan of Raven because One Us is out here busy doing stuff. So I'm like, you know, focus on One Us and Raven could just do whatever and I'll just pop in whenever kind of thing. What's your content? I talk about anything and everything ONEUS related. ONEUS, K-pop boy group, ONEUS. My favorite group in the entire world. Yeah. Anyways, I guess we have to skip, right? Because the entire time between, like, after I started to just calm down, I stopped really caring about Raven that much. I was gonna be more of like a background fan. That's how I felt up until, honestly, I think it's up until he came back onto Instagram, because he started getting more active on Instagram like a couple of months ago. And he was uploading like songs he was working on, and like just photos and like, you know, his trips and whatnot. And I was like, okay, like, you know, more of like a casual fan. I was like, maybe he'll release his songs and I'll go listen to him at some point. So I started to keep up more with what he was doing, but not that much. And also, like, ONEUS is like going into their hiatus period, so it's like I'm like all over the place right now, you know. Um. Anyways, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, right? They announce that Raven is re-debuting. Now, I hate to say it. Well, I don't hate to say it, but I hate to say it because, like I said, I'm confused right now. My first, like, I was excited when I first heard it, right? They said Raven's re-debuting. I'm like, that's so exciting. Okay. Now, I did think it was a little funny that it was in Japan. I was like, I guess, like, sure. But I was excited at first, okay? I was like, oh, I can't believe he's re-debuting. Um, I think it's also, too, like I said, I thought he was going to just retire from, like, idol life, sort of. And maybe just be, like, an artist on the side. I don't know what I thought. I just wasn't expecting him to re-debut. So I was excited when they announced it. However, right, because even though people say they hate Raven, they still keep tabs on him for some reason. So all of the anti-Raven fans, I should say, anti-Raven fans immediately found out that he's under DSP. Okay? Now, if we don't know anything about DSP, DSP Media was acquired by RBW a couple of years ago. So, technically, if you want to be super, super literal about it, or not literal, but like specific about it, he's still under RBW, kind of. Now, I don't like using that term of like he's still under RBW because that's not really true, right? DSP is like now a subsidiary of RBW. Like basically all it is RBW owns DSP. So DSP can just do whatever they want, but they get all their funding from RBW. So like that's kind of it. But he's under DSP. So like you can kind of see like maybe they just moved him. They're like, well, we can just put you over there. I don't know. We think about Blackpink. I like Blackpink. I felt like he was going to become a soloist at some point, so I didn't think he was going to give it up, especially since he kept uploading his songs to his YouTube. See, that's what I thought, but I didn't know he was going to do it through like a company. Like I thought he was going to be like an independent artist and just try to do it from there. So I was really surprised when like he had like a whole thing for it. I was like, "Oh my god." You know? That's crazy. Anyway, they find out he's under DSP. Everyone's throwing a fit. All the anti-Raven fans are like, I can't believe RBW would just move him to DSP and then re-debut him and try to call it a day. And I was like, you know, because like me, you know, like DSP and RBW are technically, like, even though like RBW owns DSP, they're still not the same thing. I don't know why we're acting like they are. But, you know, hold on, my throat's getting dry. Sorry. Sorry, I'm sick. Oh, okay, what was I saying? So they find out he's re-debuting, he's under DSP. Now, like I said, okay, so I'm excited that he's re-debuting. I'm a little excited. I'm like, okay, you know, I can keep up casually with like a re-debut, even though it's in Japan, that's fine. Sorry. So I was excited. I think I followed all of his social, like his new socials. Um, I was just excited, all right? I was really excited. I even joined his fan cafe thing. And the only reason I bought it was because it said he was gonna do live streams through there. And I was like, I wanna see a live stream. um, and honestly, that's really the only reason I bought it. It's like I'm still waiting for a live stream. I don't really care about the other features in it. I can't read Japanese. But like I just want to see a live stream just once or twice and that's it. His debut's in Japan. Yes. It's in Japan. Um I'm talking too much. Anyways, so everything's fine and dandy. I get his fan cafe. Things seem to be, you know, all the anti-Raven fans are worked up. All of the Raven fans are excited. I'm just like, kind of just in the middle. I'm like, whatever. I'm excited, but like, I'm not like after party kind of thing with the other fans. Now, I think this part, I thought it was a normal K-pop debut. No. No, he's debuting in Japan. He's actually having a pre-debut event in Japan in April. I think it's next week. I think it's next week. He's having a couple pre-debut events there, which is crazy. Anyways, all right, hear me out because I'm at the juicy part. So everything's fine and dandy. Like, I think, you know, like, I'm like, whatever. This is just how life is going to be. Now, they announced he's going to have these fan meeting things in Japan, which I think is the same thing, the pre-debut events. I'm so confused. Why? What do you mean? It's in Japan. No, he's not debuting in Korea. I don't think they wanted to debut him in Korea. Like, this is why I thought it was funny that he was debuting in Japan, was because thinking about why they weren't debuting him in Korea is, I think, because he doesn't have a lot of fans in Korea. Now, why they thought he had a lot of fans in Japan is crazier, but also because, like, I don't know. I think it's the way the markets work. It's easier to promote somebody in Japan, I've learned. Because that's why a lot of, like, I hate to say Nugu K-pop groups, when they don't really make it big in Korea right away, they'll go to Japan and they'll start doing promotions and stuff over there because it's a little bit easier to gain traction there based on the way their industry is. And I only know that because one of my favorite groups, who happens to be a Nugu group, keeps going to Japan. And I'm like, that's great and all, but like, where's our comeback? Like, I'm waiting. But they keep promoting in Japan, so like, I think it's just easier to do that there. Anyways, all right. Here's the big point of the story. They announce he's doing a fan meet, and they announce he's gonna have a bunch of merch and stuff at this fan meet. There's also, I think there's like things you can buy to like do like a meet and greet. I don't know. I didn't really read it that far because I only read this one specific line, and I think this one line is a reason why I'm so confused, because like I'm not really sure how to feel about it anymore. So this one line in this long, long list of what's happening at this fan meet is that they were going to sell I can't even say it because it just kind of makes me mad. They were going to sell Malice albums at his fan meet. The way I wanted to just find whoever decided that and just punch them in the face, okay? Oh my god. It still makes me mad thinking about it, honestly. Honestly, it makes me mad thinking about it. They were going to sell his version of the Malice albums at his fan meet, okay? And out of all of the things that could have made, you know, that like, not could have made me mad, but like all the things that have happened up until now, this one thing, I think, has really just changed the trajectory of how I feel. of my like time as like his fan. I don't know, you know? It basically changed everything in my mind. What? Yes. I was upset actually. Like I was so okay, let me explain to you why I was upset though, because I feel like if all right, let me explain. Let me explain. So they were gonna sell just his versions of Malice at his fan meet. And sorry, I'm talking too much. And obviously everyone threw a fit. I threw a fit. Because I was like, why? Why would you do that? He's not like, this isn't even a One Us event. All right. Respect to Raven. I know he was in One Us at one point, and like I respect the time he was in One Us, but at the same time, he's no longer in One Us. Okay. I don't care how you put it. This is also something that I feel about the whole situation too, is that I don't believe in trying to erase him from like One Us things. Like a lot of people always blur him out of like the videos. Um, Everyone loved it all over when the Penta versions came out, and they're like, "Oh my god, he's not in this song anymore." And I was like, I really just don't care. Like, you know, like he was in the group at one point. I feel like we should just respect that. There's nothing we can do. Um, and so like I don't believe in trying to erase him from the past, but at the same time, I don't believe in trying to associate him with One Us after he left, right? Regardless if he left on his own or if he was kicked out. I don't know, right? Regardless of how he left, he's still not in One Us anymore. So I don't like when people this is also like a dilemma I have with OT5 and OT6 stands. Because OT5 stands will try to erase him from like his time in One Us. And it's like, well, that's goofy because like he was in One Us. How are you gonna do that? Oh my god, I'm talking too much. But OT6 stands will try to put him in One Us like past the time that he left. So like they keep trying to insert him in everything that's One Us related. It's like he's not even in this group anymore. Like why are you trying to do that? Hi, hello. Um are you in army? No. Oh my god, my throat's dry. I haven't talked this much all week because I've been sick, so like it's drying out my throat. Um anyways, this is just my belief, okay? I don't really like he's not in One Us anymore. We just have to accept that. We need to stop putting him in One Us after the time that he left. Jesus. But also because like One Us themselves, the 5 of them have worked really, really hard. Matter of fact, they've worked harder than they probably should have at trying to rebrand themselves as the 5 members. Like they've been doing every single thing that they could do to make sure that people knew that they were 5 members and not, you know, sort of try to move on from the fact that they had 6 members at some point, right? Like, and this is like, I know this because I remember commenting on it a lot of times. Like, why are they trying that hard? You know? But like, they still were trying so hard to rebrand as 5. And, you know, I feel like if the members themselves are trying to do that, we need to respect that. Anyways, so they announced that they're trying to sell One Us, sorry, they're trying to sell Raven's versions of Malice at his fan meet. And I think that's wise because like I have watched One Us for the last 2 years like work incredibly hard to be recognized as the 5 members, and all of a sudden somebody at that company decides, oh well, we're just gonna throw some One Us albums out on this table and just hope that this works. Like it felt like a slap in the face, okay? I felt I felt that on behalf of One Us. Like that's actually really messed up. Hi, hello. Um like I felt betrayed basically. Like I did not just watch these 5 the 5 members like, you know, overwork themselves to get to where they are right now, for you to just come in and try to take all of that and stick their albums on his table. That's messed up. And so now, I do know that it most likely was not his decision. I'm hoping to God it was not his decision, because if he had any say in that, like putting ONEUS albums on that table at his fan meet, I think that would absolutely change my mind about how I feel about him. Because they say ignorance is bliss, okay? What group is that on the wall? This is ONEUS. K-pop boy group ONEUS. Anyways, let me find out that he had any say in that. It'll be a whole different story, okay? But this time, I'm gonna assume it was the company and the organizers, whatever, thinking they could stick ONEUS's album at his fan meet. That's great. I don't care if he used to be ONEUS. I don't care if he was in that album. He's not in ONEUS anymore. Don't be selling their merch at his concerts. Excuse me? Anyway, it made me really mad, okay? It still makes me mad thinking about it. Luckily, they changed it. So they changed it from the Malice album to a photo book of Raven, which they should have done the first time. I don't know why they were trying to stick ONEUS's albums as merch. That's crazy, but they changed it to a photo book, so they're not having the Malice albums there. But that entire situation, like, kind of made me... I think that's why I'm so confused right now. Because, like, I do want to support Raven, but, like, if they're just so easily doing things like that, do I even want to? Like, that's messed up. I'm confused on how to feel about that. It's, like I said, for me, it's aggravating. I'm not sure how it felt to people, like, okay. Basically, to, like, explain the backstory of that is, like, as soon as he left the group, I immediately, like, detached him from ONEUS. So, like I said, like, even though I do respect the time he was in ONEUS, it's like now in my brain, I know that he is no longer a member of ONEUS. And so it's like, he doesn't belong to ONEUS. Like, he's not in ONEUS. He has no ties to ONEUS. So, like, he's kind of just his own separate thing now. Which I think is kind of how we should all view it anyways, right? Because even though he was in the group at one point, he isn't anymore. So, like, he can't really be using the fact that he was in ONEUS to do things. Like, that's crazy to me. I guess I don't have an opinion. That's fair. Like I said, I think other people probably feel differently about it. Because, like, for me, because I've detached, like, I've separated them entirely in my brain. So, like, they're not associated anymore. That's why I was so aggravated about it. And also just knowing, because, like I said, I'm a ONEUS fan first. Like, over anything else. All right, I'm a ONEUS fan. So I was like, you know, I've watched ONEUS for the last 2 years. Just, like, try so hard to not be seen as a group that had a member leave. Even though, like, I mean, they will, but, like, had that not be the main thing for them. And then to just see, like, freaking Raven and his company or whatever, DSP, just try to stick some ONEUS album on their table. It was aggravating. And anyways, so I don't really know how, like, his, like, fans, like, his, you know, his super fans, that's all I can call them, because, like, they're kind of super fans, right? They're, like, his fans. I don't know how they felt about that. I should go look. I could go look, I just know it's gonna make me really mad. Like, I don't, like, how did they feel, like, knowing that they were trying to sell his version of a ONEUS album at his fan meet? Like, did they even think anything? Like, okay, thinking about the whole thing, it aggravates me all over again. Anyways, I think that's also why I'm just a little confused these days on, like, I feel like it's like a strike one for me. Like, the next time something, like, crazy like that happens, I feel like I'm gonna be on my last leg. OMG, hi. How long have you been live? I've been live for almost an hour. No way, I've been talking about Raven for 40 minutes. Anyway, like I said, I'm still kind of a fan, but, like, this is definitely pushing me in the wrong direction. Like, like, anything else, I think, could just send me over the edge, and I'm just gonna have to, like, not be a fan. I don't know. I don't know why it's not giving me notifications. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it doesn't. It's giving ops. I don't know if I'll be live. That's so funny. This isn't even plugged in. Well, I don't know if I'll be live too long today. Just because, like, I'm recovering from a cold. And I'm learning, after just going on this entire rant about Raven, that I don't necessarily have the capacity to be talking that much. Because, like, you know, my throat's drying out. And so, I might be live for a bit longer. I just won't be live as long as I think I usually would be. Yeah, I haven't talked this much in, like, a long time. It's also too, like, okay, so whatever I'm sick with, all right, I don't know what it is. I thought it was a cold, but, like, it didn't really feel like a cold. Because, like, I know when I'm sick, like, when I'm, you know, I have a cold or something. This time it felt a little different. Like, this time, the way that I got, or, like, how I've been sick was, like, mostly, like, coughing. Like, my lungs have been, like, they're operating at, like, 50%, okay? My lungs were affected. I've been coughing, and it's just hard to breathe a little bit, all right? With, like, slight congestion, I would say, but it was mostly just coughing. But I did go to the doctor to, like, go get tested because, like I said, it didn't feel like a normal cold. I went and got tested. The doctor tried to tell me it was just regular allergies. I was like, no, because I know what regular allergies feel like. I get allergies every year, okay? I know what allergies feel like, and it's not this. She also tried to tell me it was the cold, and I was like, I don't think it is, because I know what the cold is. Like, you know, I know how it affects my body. Like, this, though, is, like, operating an entirely different way. Sounds like COVID. That's what I thought, too, but they tested me for COVID, and I didn't have it. I don't have COVID. I don't have the flu. They also tested me for strep, but, like, I knew I didn't have strep. Because I had strep one time, and I was like, that was a horrendous experience. Yeah, so I thought for sure maybe it could have been COVID, which would have been funny because I had COVID in September. So can you imagine I got COVID again? I think I would have been embarrassed. I would have been humiliated, and I would have not told anyone that I had COVID. You know, just because I just had COVID. What about the bird flu? That's been going around too. Doesn't that only affect birds? No, see, I thought mine was like, what did I think it was? I guess it could have been a chest cold. Does that make sense? I'm just making things up. Basically, oh, a chest cold is acute bronchitis. Oh, wait. It could have been bronchitis this whole time. Oh, God. See, it says soreness in the chest, feeling tired, mild headache, mild body aches, and sore throat. Okay. I'll be honest. It could have been bronchitis. According to WebMD, it sounds like it could have been bronchitis. Which I think would have been fair because, like, when I first started getting sick, it was literally just the way that I was breathing. Like, I didn't have a headache. I didn't even have, like, a stuffy nose or anything. Like, I could breathe just fine. But it was, like, every time I tried to take a deep breath, it was, like, I had to, like, work really hard to get a deep breath. Sometimes it would hurt my chest. It would hurt, like, right here. And then on Sunday, it was, like, every time I took a deep breath, it would burn. I was like, bro, I gotta go in. I tried to tell the doctor this, and she was like, well, that just happens when... And I was like, so my lungs are just supposed to burn when I take deep breaths. Also, though, hi, you're back. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Something I learned while I was, like, talking to this doctor is that I tend to undermine how I feel a lot of the time. Which I knew because, like, I do that when I'm, like, if I'm having, like, an emotionally hard time, I don't really tend to, like, talk about how I'm feeling. But I guess that translates, too, into, like, physical sickness. Because I'm sitting here and it's, like, I felt like I was going to do that anyways. But then when we walked in, and, like, she's asking me, like, you know, well, how are you feeling, all this stuff, and I'm, like, sitting here undermining how I'm feeling. I'm like, well, like, I was trying to do my best to explain it the way that I was feeling, but I still think I wasn't doing it that well, to where she thought maybe it was just a regular cold. And so I was trying to be like, well, no, like, it hurts when I cough, and it's really phlegmy. Sorry, TMI, but it was a little phlegmy every time I coughed, like, and I don't cough like that usually, is the problem. That's why I went in. It's because, like, if I thought it was just a regular cold, I would have just stayed home and tried to get over it myself. But, like, when I cough, it doesn't sound like that when I cough. And, like, when I'm sick, and so that's why I went in. But then she was like, oh, it's just a regular cold. It's just producing mucus and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, but I don't do that normally. Like, anyways, she was like, oh, it'll be fine. You'll get over it. And I was like, okay. It's like, well, I'll just go die at home then. It's fine. I'm back. What did I miss? I found out I had bronchitis this past week. Just kidding. I don't know. It was something, though. It wasn't a cold. I know it was something. But apparently it wasn't that much of an issue. The other thing, too, is I think I might have went in on maybe the wrong day. Because I went in on Monday, but, like, by this point, like, I think the worst of it might have been Sunday night. So when I went in Monday, it was, like, I don't know. I don't really know. Sorry. I'm talking too much and now it's getting all in my... Sorry. Oh, my God. Anyways, I think maybe I'll be live for 15 more minutes because I can't seem to be talking that long. It's like all up in my... I haven't seen you in so long. I know, it's been like... Well, even then, I don't think you were here for my Get Ready With Me stream, right? Because if you weren't here for my Get Ready With Me streams, it's probably been over 2 weeks. That's a long time. What's your name? What does that mean? B? How do you want to finish? All I know is the ECB. Sorry. Sorry. I missed most streams this month. To be fair, I don't think I streamed that much this month. This month was a little slow. It was a little slow. Do you like other groups? Yeah, I do. Oh, God. I might stop listening to K-pop. Honestly, I've been trying to like transition out. Now, I wouldn't say like just kind of stop being a fan in general. I'm sure there'll be songs that like come out that I'll listen to that'll be like good and whatever. But I've been trying to like expand past K-pop so that I can like, because honestly, a lot of the songs that I listen to are K-pop. So I feel like I need to just expand my musical library. I hate to say these days I've been very much into, I should look up what their genre is. I have a lot of schoolwork and I don't know. You can just listen casually. I've become a fan of one of the groups that I saw on the tour. I don't know if you guys knew, but I went on a road trip last week. 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Jeez, already? Oh my God. Time just flies by too fast. I went on a road trip. And it was for my pal. Because she wanted to go see a group that was on this tour. And so I was going for moral support, but because we went to 4 stops, it was the group that she liked and then 2 other bands. Oh my God, wait. My throat's drying out. Sorry. I really be talking too much. Oh my gosh. Anyways, the band that she likes and then another band were openers for this other band who was the headliner for this tour. We went to 4 stops and I don't know, I can't tell you why. I think it's because like I had an idea of like the sound that these groups, bands did. And I kind of just knew it, like, it wasn't, like, my favorite type of genre. Like, it's something like I can just listen to, like, if someone else is playing it, but, like, I won't go listen to it myself. So I really didn't think that, like, I was going to like any of the bands by the end or really care that much. However, lo and behold, by the end of these 4 stops, I became a fan of one of the bands on this tour. Okay, and they're called Landmarks. I'm a big fan now. They're called Landmarks, and I actually really like a lot of their music. Now, there are some songs I think I'm not that big of a fan of. But I do like a lot of their newer songs. I became a big fan. But like I said, like, this genre is, like, so different. What are they called? Metalcore band. It says they're metalcore. I don't know. I wouldn't put... Okay, it's their new songs, though. I think their new songs... Their new songs are not giving metalcore. Their old songs do. And those are the ones I don't like that much. But they have 3 new songs that came out as part of Jesus. Sorry, I'm dying. Hold on. I'm talking too much. I'm gonna have to end the stream even earlier than I thought. What is going on? Diana's playing. Yeah, I know. I can't tell if that was out on the road. that's not out on the road? Bump in the night. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Okay. What was I saying? Sorry, I know it sounds crazy. It's more just, okay, so I live in the middle of nowhere, right? Is this still going? I hope you get better. Thank you. I'm healing every day. I can't tell if I'm making it up or if it's still going. I have neighbors, but they're like kind of a ways away. Now, because I live in the middle of nowhere, it's like all of I can't tell if I'm just hearing it like because I heard it earlier or if it's still going. Basically there should be no sounds happening right now outside because we live in the middle of nowhere and our road, like the main highway or whatever, it's like fairly close. You could probably hear a loud car going by on it. But it's also like a road that not a lot of people use in general, and so they especially don't use it at night. And so that's what I thought it sounded. I thought it was just a really loud car out on the highway. I hate to say I think I still hear it. But then it sounded like it was back there, and it kind of sounded like it was either a weed whacker, maybe a lawn. It's more like a weed whacker. Like if you powered up a weed whacker and like start doing like the the buzzing and it makes all those buzzing noises. That's what it sounded like outside. I think it stopped. It stopped. Basically, there should be no sounds out right now, but there's that. So I have to go. Bye. Bye. Thanks for hanging out. I got really sleepy, so I don't know if my body was fighting an infection. A lot of sneezing. Oh, God. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna die. I'm almost out of water. What do I do? I'm telling you, it's giving bronchitis. I don't know. Probably just the cartel. Yeah. Yeah, they just kind of drive by in the back sometimes. It's fine. Okay, how about I give the stream 5 more minutes so I don't die on everyone, okay? Because like I said, I don't talk this much. I haven't talked this much all week, and so like my voice is all, 1, out of practice, and 2, it's because like, you know, I'm still sick, so my throat's drying out a lot faster than it usually does. All right. 5 more minutes and I will end the stream. Sorry, hold on. I might try to go live tomorrow. Maybe I'll do Saturday. It's supposed to snow this weekend. Like, isn't it springtime now? Like, why is it still snowing? I complain about it every year. But I live in a place where, like, winter does not end until, like, April. Sometimes May. I've seen it snow in May before. It's goofy. But I live in a place where summers end in October, sometimes November, and the winters last until April, sometimes May. So I can't be that confused about why it's gonna snow this weekend. It's still March, but I want the warm weather already. It was 80 degrees today. It was beautiful. It was amazing. And LA is nonstop with airplanes flying over. Only during lockdown did planes come sparingly. I bet that was probably scary, especially if you're used to hearing airplanes all the time and then all of a sudden you don't. That would probably be scary to me. We're gonna get COVID too before GTA 6. I know. I really want to play GTA 6. Matter of fact, I'm trying to invest in like a console or something before GTA 6 comes out because I need to play that game. I heard it's supposed to come out this year sometime. Or is it next year? Anyways, whenever it comes out, I need to get a PS5 before then. So. Hablas español? No. Hello, hi. 70 today makes me forget how expensive the rent is. 70 degrees? I love spring weather. Like the spring heat, I should say, because it's such a perfect amount of heat to be outside. Now, when summer rolls around, now it's just too hot. Like, what are we doing? It's just way too hot. That's gonna be a no for me, brother. 70 degrees? Sounds beautiful to me. I think it's supposed to be 70 degrees here tomorrow, too, which makes it even worse because it's supposed to be 70-something degrees tomorrow, but then on Saturday and Sunday, it's supposed to be 30-something. It's like, it's giving whiplash. All right, no wonder we're all sick. Okay, the temperature keeps changing. Like, can we please just pick... Can we just pick something, stick with it? Another thing, too, that I'm waiting for around here, because I've already experienced it, is culturally. So in my culture, we consider spring to be here when the thunderstorms come back. And so, like, we have, like, a big, like, ceremony and stuff for it, too. But, like, they haven't arrived yet because it's still snowing. But that's when we know, like, spring/summer is coming, is when the thunderstorms come back. And so that's one thing that I'm waiting for to happen around here. Now, I did experience a thunderstorm when we were in Chicago a couple weeks ago. Sounds like you're from Chicago. I'm not, though. No, in Chicago a couple weeks ago, it thunderstormed. And so that was really nice for me. I was like, it's my first thunderstorm of the season. Hi. Oh. I'm running out of water. All right, when I finish my water is when I'll end stream. Oh my god. I said that and then need another drink immediately. I can't breathe. I'm from Mexico. Nice. Fun. Fun, exciting, fun. Anyways, what was I saying? I don't know. Hold on, I have to take a last drink. Would you look at that? You taking any OT to help with your symptoms? I was taking cough medicine earlier this week because, like I said, I had a really bad cough. So I was taking cough medicine, and then I took ibuprofen a couple times because I had a really bad headache. But other than that, I've just been toughing it out. Okay. Natural healing. My lip gloss fell. Anyways, I think I'm going to end the stream now, especially because, like, my throat's getting dry. Okay, I can only talk for so long before we'll all just kind of watch me collapse. So, I think I'm gonna end this stream here. If I don't stream tomorrow, I'll stream on Saturday, because, like I said, I'll be home all weekend. Gonna catch a flight and make you chicken soup. Wouldn't that be so nice? I have to go quick. I ran out of water. My throat's drying out. Anyways, I'm gonna end the stream here for tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed. I know it was a bit of a chill, kind of low, relaxed stream. But hopefully next time we'll be better. Okay, in better shape. We stream for longer and talk for longer. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone. I hope you have a good night. Have some good sleeps, and all that.